Hi, I'm Mateo. Do you want to learn about Hidden Heroes? Hidden Heroes from A to Z is a cool book that tells the stories of amazing black heroes you might not know about. You'll meet inventors, you'll meet explorers, and leaders who change the world. It's fun, inspiring, and you can learn so much. Get your copy now at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Let's discover our hidden heroes together.
All right, let's get it cracking. Let everybody get on in here and let's see what's going on with it. Doing the late night thing as we always do. I'm here. You're here. What's going on with y'all, man? Everybody pop on in here. See a lot of the regulars up in here. Red Panda, I see you in here. A lot of folks up late still. Miss Deli, is that what's her name? What's up, man? We in here. We in here chopping it up. We're gonna get some of the callers in a minute. Everybody pile on in. Glad to have y'all tuning in. We will get some of the calls very shortly because we're not going to be on too long. I always say that, but I'm going to try to keep it short tonight. Shout out to everybody in the UK. Well, my UK people, I hope you guys are safe over there. I hope those riots and the uprisings and all of that is kind of slowed down. I don't know what's going on over there. I know we got a lot of UK cats who tap in with us around this time. Do we have any UK people in here now? Raise your hand. What time is it over there in the UK? It must be very early over there. But nonetheless, we here. Um, don't forget the new version of Microphone Check will be available on our site um, probably next week. You can pre-order on Amazon now. The uncolonized version of Microphone Check. Um, I'm going to do my main show on my YouTube channel probably tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to do it this weekend, and I want to touch on the whole breakdancing at the Olympics thing. I'm going to touch on all that stuff. What's up, Grinds? I see you in the building. Did y'all tune in to Trump? Trump did a Twitter space earlier with Elon Musk. There's a lot of people in there, about 1 million plus. It's a lot of people in there. I listened to a little bit of it. They were talking about, Trump getting hit in the ear and all of that. They were talking about that. They were kind of going on and on about that for a minute. So I was just kind of dipping in and out. How many of y'all got a chance to hear that? One thing, the left is trying to spin a narrative. They're trying to say that Trump was in the Twitter space slurring his words. He wasn't really doing that. And I'm listening. I'm like, no, not really. They're trying to make it seem like, they're trying to do a psyops. They're trying to make it seem like Trump is just as bad as Biden as far as his mental state. So they're trying to spin this weird narrative. Trump, Trump wasn't really slurring. He was just talking regular. So there's a lot of propaganda going on out here. A lot of propaganda. We're gonna get some. What's up, Miss Snacks? What's up, Sister Aki? So there's a lot of propaganda going on with this stuff. And again, I'm not supporting anybody. I'm supporting empowerment. I'm supporting empowerment. Because the Trump administration, I saw some kind of 20-point plan that they had for when Trump gets in office. He didn't mention anything about us. He didn't mention anything about doing something for Black people. So again, I'm not on that train. Y'all got to put something forth for us to vote for. So, I'm not going to vote for the next guy just to vote against somebody. They got to put something there for me to get out here and actively support. And again, Trump ain't really bringing nothing to the table specifically for us. And another thing with Trump, Trump, this was kind of a slam dunk for Trump. Trump could have been way in the lead of Kamala, but Trump is, trying to pander to that MAGA base. And, that's going to shoot him in the foot. No pun intended, by the way. Let me get some of these calls. A lot of folks are making requests right now. Let's get Jocko, we'll get Jocko, then we'll get Trey in the building. Jocko, then we'll get Trey. What's up, Grinds? Jocko, want to unmute your microphone? We're getting these people trying to get in early. All right, we'll get Trey in the building. Trey,
Bonsi,
well, hold
hello.
on. Well, go ahead, Jocko.
Yeah, how you doing, brother Tariq?
I'm
I was the one that sent you the email a couple of years ago. Told you the guy was on Crenshaw's bootlegging your DVD Maroon, American Maroon.
Oh yeah. I know who that was. So yeah, I hollered at him about that. So yeah. So what's
Yeah,
going?
listen.
Yeah.
Can I get your current email? There's a video. A Democratic Shield put a video out directed at what he said called black YouTubers, but it was primarily directed at you. I want you to see it.
Okay. Um. Yeah, you can send it info@tariq.la. But yeah, you got a lot of these Democratic shills. They're running amok out here now. So it's probably it's probably a nothing burger, man. I really don't entertain these Democratic shills. It's so much of them. It's so many of them. So they're in our spaces now. They stay in our spaces. They stay trolling and whining and complaining, and they try to disrupt the energy because if we have any legitimate concerns about what these politicians are bringing to the table, and we're really getting it from the left wingers. We're really getting it from a lot of the Democratic shills. I want y'all to understand, man. A lot of the dangerous vitriol that we're getting is from the damn Democrats, man. The disrespect and the vitriolic hatred and contempt, that's coming from the Democrats, man. This shut up and vote, and if you ain't black, if you don't vote for them, and you better get your booty to the poll, and you better, black men better respect black women and vote for Kamala Harris. All of this disrespectful ass talk, all of these op-ed pieces. They had Michael Eric Dyson write something for the LA Times disrespecting black society. Notice the media gives these people all types of platforms to disrespect us. Everything is about disrespecting us. Let me talk to the black family for a minute, man. What, for real? What are you supporting the Democrats for? For real? Not to say that you're a Trump supporter, because I'm not a Trump supporter, but what the hell are you supporting the damn Democrats for? The whole lesser of two evils thing. You better understand when that ain't really practical. Who's the most evil? The Democrats are talking to us crazy right now with nothing but disrespect and contempt. And the thing is, we sit up here and elevate all these groups, and they come over to undermine us. They sit here, and you got Kamala Harris telling us what the hell she ain't gonna do for us, but she's doing everything for everybody else. And with that Asian hate crime thing, remember, it was black people who were being targeted with that. They were targeting black people with that. It was black people getting led off in handcuffs for having arguments with Asian people. They were using that to target us. They use us to browbeat us with the whole LGBT stuff. When they got bills and protection for the LGBT community, who were they saying were the villains? The villains were us, black people. They were saying, well, all the homophobia in the black community. Remember? Some of y'all got short memories. They were using us as the boogeyman. These are the Democrats. These are the people we voted in. We voted these people in, and then they turn around and use us as a boogeyman to prop up these other groups. Hell, even with the Jewish community. They don't sit up and put these white supremacists on blast. They start talking about, well, Farrakhan and all of these, Nick Cannon and Kanye. They make black people, Kyrie Irving. You understand what I'm saying? That's the Democrats doing that, throwing all of these black people under the bus, painting them as homophobic or I mean, I'm anti-Semitic, painting them as anti-Semitic. You see? And we sit up here and elevate these people. We got to say, man, enough is a damn enough. What are you supporting these people for real? And the thing is, nobody really has an answer. Nobody really has an answer as to why they're still supporting the Democrats, particularly Biden and Kamala, other than, oh, well, Trump is going to get us because you let the left wing media, and remember, the Hollywood media is left wing. It's a bunch of white liberals who run that, and look at the way they portray us. Again, we got this thing where people pretend to like us. Too many of us like lies. White liberals, they've mastered the art of lies. Malcolm X taught us that. See, I like honest white supremacists. Just let me know how you get down the minute you walk in the door, then we're good. I know your position. I know how far I can go with you. I know my boundaries. I know your mindset. Okay, so whatever business we need to conduct by necessity, let's conduct that business by necessity. The problem is black folks get in these situations with these white liberals and you think that they're your friend. I want black folks to understand many of these Karen videos that we see, these are from white liberals. These are in white liberal areas or areas where the white liberals are moving into. Whenever you see these Karen videos, there's always a black person trying to get into a swimming pool, a black person trying to get into a building, and some Karen is on the phone harassing them and calling the police on them. And then you find out these Karens are some kind of Democrat city council member somewhere, or there's some Democrat nonprofit coordinator. They always got these jobs somewhere where there's some kind of Democratic money going on, and they're the main ones calling the police on your ass. You understand? We better understand the game out here. These white liberals and all of their flunkies, they've been a problem for us. They're not our friends. And out here in LA, we're getting targeted by them. The black business sector out here in LA, we're getting targeted by the Democrat liberal white supremacists, man. These are the ones who are targeting our businesses out here. They're the ones sending the essays to our businesses to sabotage and vandalize and all of that stuff. Got to be very real. What's up, Juicy Genius? I see you in here, beloved. That's why I always open the phone lines up to some of these Democrat cats to really say why you're supporting them. And nobody can really give a good answer. And then the Democrat shills come in, but they're Democrat shills, so they're going to say whatever talking points the DNC sends to them. Let's get AO. I think that's your name, brother. AO.
Hey, what's up, Tariq? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I love your spaces, dude. I'm always on just listening to what you have to say. So I think you got a lot of insight. I do want to ask you a question about just the state of hip hop and R&B
Yeah.
in the US. I'm from New Zealand, so
Okay.
I've listened to a lot of it growing up. It's been a big it's huge. It's yeah, I love it. But
Oh yeah.
here's the thing, right? The problem I have with it is I feel like, don't you feel like there's a lot of degeneracy, especially with Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and all that stuff? Like, how do you feel like that's affecting the youth?
Well, the thing is, I've been saying this when I was on my press run. The problem is, there is no balance no more. The degeneracy is cool as long as there's balance. There's always been sexualized lyrics in hip hop, especially starting in the late 80s and through the 90s. There's always been the sexualized stuff in there, but we had the balance in it. We would have the Rakims and the Nas's and the Public Enemies and people like that to balance that out. And even with the women rappers, we had Lil Kim, we had Foxy Brown. They were doing their raunchy thing in the 90s, but we had the Queen Latifahs and the Lauryn Hills and people like that to balance them out. MC Light, there was a balance in it. Now there's no balance. We're just seeing one sector of it, and it's all raunchy, and that's where the problem is. But I won't say that that's going to affect the minds of the youth so much. It creates a certain perception of women when the women are doing it. I don't like that perception, and that's the only perception of black women that we get, because historically, whenever there's negative images of Black women and just Black people in general, there has been an onslaught of violence towards us because those images are used to justify violence against us. Um, Even with children, back in the Jim Crow era, white advertisers would put these advertisements up of sexualized images of Black children. They've always done that. Um, and with these harsh, derogatory images of Black people, we see the rise of lynchings. There's always been a correlation there. And when we see the promotion of the sexy reds and the glorrillas and all of that, the image of Black women being degenerate hood rats, we start seeing situations like Sonya Massey. You understand? And then you have a bunch of white supremacists and even folks in law enforcement trying to justify that woman being executed in her home because, see, they look at us as one big Negro. So when they see a Black woman, all of them are either Lizzo or Sexy Red. You understand? And going back to Lizzo, that's another thing. Lizzo, I hated when she was running around flopping that big flappy flat booty around all over the place. That's a horrible look. And when you do that, that devalues the women in the community. So when something bad happens, well, all these sisters end up missing. Well, so what? You know, that's the narrative. There's no outcry from the dominant society. And also, let's be real, internally, the outcry is not where it's supposed to be. Because you see these images of yourself and each other, then you start devaluing each other. You understand? So that's why I go out of my way to try to create a balance of us looking and acting decent. I try to have these events where you have upscale Black people and upstanding Black people talking and acting like they got some damn sense. See, it's going to be up to us to put these images out here. That's the reason why I started the Hidden Colors series, family. That was the number one reason why I started the Hidden Colors series. I started the Hidden Colors series, I first started in 2010. The reason why is because if you remember, some of you guys are kind of young. I do have a lot of young people because some of you guys are in your early 20s. Raise your hand if you're in your early 20s. I got a lot of Gen Zs in here. Raise your hand if you're in your early 20s. Sometimes I forget how young my audience is. 2008, what's that? Was that 15 years ago? What was that? Around 15 years ago, right? Some of you guys were like 7. Some of y'all like 7, 8 years old around that time. But when we started the Hidden Colors series, the movies that were out at that time, it was movies like The Butler, The Blind Side, The Help, Precious. These were the movies that were out, and these were horrible images of us. These were absolutely despicable images of us, especially that Precious movie. You know, that was degenerate filth. I don't even know how that got greenlit. Well, I know, but that type of degenerate filth, that was a horrible, horrible movie. And just the way it depicted us, it was a pointless movie. There was no rhyme or reason to that movie other than to make white people feel better about not being Black, just to show Black people as toe up and as raggedy and as dysfunctional as we can be. Horrible movie, horrible. Yeah, Lee Daniels, I don't know where that filth came from in that man's soul to put some shit like that out into the public. Horrible movie. But you saw they gave it all types of praises and awards and accolades, and they tried to pawn it off on Tyler Perry and Oprah. But it was really a lot of white people behind the scenes because when it started winning those Oscars, all of the white people jumped out there to get their awards. Them white people were jumping on stage and knocking niggas over to get their awards. You dig? So when I saw that type of filth out, I said we're going to have to balance this out. We're going to have a counter narrative to all of this degenerate filth being portrayed on us. And we got to stop waiting on the dominant society, because that's the thing. People kept saying, well, man, we need to get Hollywood need to do something different. They need to have more positive images of us. They need to do this. They need to do that. Hollywood ain't gonna do that. I work out here in Hollywood. They ain't gonna do that. They don't have an interest in doing that. That's going to have to be something that we have to do from the grassroots, and that's what we did. We created the Hidden Colors series. So I put that together. I said, let me do the blackest documentary I can do. Let me get all the black scholars and black heavyweights and just talk about black history and all of the contributions that black people have done and made globally. Put that movie together, became the hugest black history documentary series ever. That became a whole movement within itself. So much so people started to act like there was some kind of secret white money behind it. It wasn't. Don't ever let nobody tell you that lie. Whenever something that's black and successful, the Sambos always got to put white daddy somewhere in the mix. There's no white money behind that. That was all us doing that, breaking records all around the world. We can do that stuff. I know our power. I know what we can do. I know what we're capable of. I want us all to understand what we're capable of. We're capable of maintaining our own media apparatus. We're capable of maintaining our communities like we're supposed to. We're capable of maintaining nations and societies. We just got to get the right minded people around us. Let's get brother, our New York brother Caliph. Brother Caliph. All right, brother Caliph ain't saying nothing. Let's get Ely Detroit in the building. Then we'll get the Negro Black Knight Heritage. Ely Detroit.
What's up, bro? What's up? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. What up, though?
Nothing much, man. I'm just listening to you. I ain't got too much. I'm up at this punk ass job and shit, but
You at Amazon?
no, no.
Shit, you working in the middle of the night, either Amazon or the damn GM plant somewhere. Where you working, brother?
No, I'm at a plant, but I don't want to disclose.
Okay, there you go. Okay, it's
I'm
at a
skilled.
plant. We know you at a plant somewhere, but go ahead.
I'm skilled trades, dog. I'm skilled trades, so I'm just chilling.
All right, there you go. There you go.
You
We don't
know,
want to mess your forklift job up. We don't want to mess
no,
it
my skilled trades, motherfucker. I ain't no
up.
robotic programmer, motherfucker.
There it is, my man, my
All
man.
right, cuz.
So everything good with you, brother?
Yeah. I'm just give everybody a heads up. WHPR Detroit, right?
Yeah.
But I shared it a couple of what they call it websites or whatever, so y'all can do business with them. They open for business, and they got their own app too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So we got a television station that we can utilize and stuff like that. So I'm
okay.
about to share it on there too. So y'all just
Okay.
do business with them if y'all can though.
All right.
That's
So
about it.
we'll look into that, man. Thank you so much, brother.
All right,
Appreciate
bro.
that. All right, we'll look into it. Um, the Negro Black Knight Heritage.
Hey, good afternoon or good morning, brother Tariq. Good post about that nurse practicing a medical apartheid, calling out Negroes and N-words and whatnot. That woman's been removed from her
Oh,
position. So
good,
like less than 72 hours flat. Like, yo, we setting Negro FBA records all around the place. When it comes to job removal of people that are against our lineage. That
good.
needs to be done. That needs to be done because they're
Absolutely.
quick to pull the plug out on a Negro or a Black American person for no apparent reason. But when people actually doing things to aggrieve our community, they need to be taken to task accordingly. So I'm glad that the people was having those letters, those stock letters locked in barrel, and they were flooding that the Ohio's medical professional staff with that. So less than 72 hours flat, family. I think that we need to give a royal salute to that because that was
Yes.
a good effort of this is how you remove people that are toxic in our community, that's making a profit in our community.
Yeah,
Now we need to put a black person or a black nurse's practitioner lady or whatnot in that building to make a example, saying that this could be any of y'all tethers. It
yeah.
don't matter where y'all from. You go around disrespecting black people, we're going to take you out of commission. Where you can't make no money. That's the first thing. The other thing I just wanted to highlight was talking a little bit more about these just those individuals in the professionals in the college campuses targeting our youth. There needs to be
Yeah.
a concerted effort to get them out of these positions, family. They should not be in any position of authority, especially govern our loved ones, our children, and our elderly. So I just wanted to report on that. I found that that was very interesting, and I'm very proud that that woman's removed because she was in the
Good.
state that I was born in, the
Yeah.
city I was born in. So
Yeah.
yeah, salute to
Yeah, man.
that.
Good looking out on that. Yeah, man. For those who don't know, there's this woman. She's an African immigrant who was calling some FBAs all types of N words and slaves, and so I know a lot of people made calls to that facility, and they were
So they
trying to get
been.
her out of there. What's up, Auntie?
Hello?
Who is it? This Auntie?
No, I'm sorry, man. It's my mom's account, man. I try to, log in on mine, but you can't hear my own volume. So,
Okay, okay. So what's going on, man?
nothing, man. I was just, I've been watching you for a while, man. A lot of stuff you've been saying is the truth, especially with these immigrants coming over here. I'm from California. I just graduated high school.
Love
A,
it. Now,
a
how
black.
old are you, brother? How old are you, by the way?
I just turned 18. So,
There you go. Cool.
yeah,
What
I
you going?
just wanted to ask you
By the way,
something.
hold on. By the way, are you going to college?
Yes, Trey Tech.
There you go, my man. I appreciate that. Go ahead. Now, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you that. I feel like if Kamala do wins, man, it's gonna be very bad for the black, the FBAs, because
Yeah,
I feel like we're having another war, and I think she's trying to she's going to replace us into going war and have all these immigrants, legal immigrants, come over here. So I feel like they're going to try to replace the black Americans, you know,
yeah.
over here, because I heard legal immigrants can't go to war, right?
Well, I'm trying to see how that thing works. I wonder if they have to be born here. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but yeah, they're going to flood the zone with a lot of immigrants over here. Thank you for the call, by the way. Listen, yeah, man, listen. If Kamala gets in, it's a wrap for us, man. Boy, we gonna go through it, man. I'm telling you, we are going to get hit from every damn side with Kamala in office. These boule bootlicks and y'all sitting up here thinking y'all got a sister girl. You got to be the dumbest mf'er on the planet to think that's the case. That's not no damn. That ain't your damn sister girl. If you think that there's going to be some kind of benefit for black people, and if you're happy with that symbolic nothing burger, you dumb as hell. And the problem is, a lot of black folks like a lot of symbolisms. That's a lot of black folks like a lot of symbolisms. You're like, a symbol is better than nothing. You're like, if I ain't gonna get nothing, at least pretend you like me. You dig? We like to play pretend too damn much. You go to the club and pretend. Let's pretend we got some money. Let's pretend we're balling out. Let's pretend that you're a model. Let's pretend I'm a successful rapper. Let's pretend that I'm a real estate agent. We like to play pretend too damn much to our demise. We got to get off that. We got to start thinking in terms of power. Power ain't about sitting around lying to each other. Power is about telling the truth, understanding what your weaknesses are, and understanding what's going to make sense for your group in the long run. You better learn how to play chess. Get off this checkers mindset. There's certain chess moves that you got to do for real. When people start talking about chess moves, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to play chess. Niggas are talking about checkers. Chess moves is when you do things strategically and you know that there's going to be a strategic outcome. Sometimes you got to sacrifice a couple of pawns in order to protect the queen and the king. See, we got to understand how to do that. See, we get this thing where we want immediate, instantaneous gratification too much because we've been downtrodden so long. Anything that looks like a so-called victory that's immediate, we'll take it. That ain't how it works, man. We thinking that we're gonna get some kind of easy win. No, you're not getting an easy win. We thought that with Obama. That was the mistake we made with Obama. We cannot make the Obama mistake. You dig? Obama was detrimental to black society. Obama was a nothing burger, a big symbolic ass nothing. We didn't get anything from Obama except slaughtered in record numbers. We got slaughtered in record numbers under Obama. His administration didn't do a damn thing to protect us. We didn't get no benefits, no resources, nothing. Other groups did. The floodgate was open to LGBTs, immigrants, the red natives. They all got something. The police, he was signing protection bills for them when they were slaughtering us left and right. We got nothing under Obama. That's when we at least realize, hey, wait a minute, just because somebody is brown and they say that they're black, that doesn't mean they're from our lineage. So we did learn how to fully delineate from that nonsense. All right. Brother Caliph, you in here? Caliph or Caliph? Okay, Brother Caliph ain't saying nothing. Is Chaos in here? Chaos?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
What's up, Chaos? How are you, man?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm good,
Yeah,
man. What's on your mind, brother?
yeah. So I just want to say big ups again with the microphone check documentary. It's a very important fight to have. I'm in my 30s, and a lot of the names that you mentioned in that documentary, I don't know, so it's very important.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Also, with the Olympics, I just want to say I'm proud of like Simone Biles and all the black people bringing in the gold. Yeah, it's been impressive. But have you heard about this situation with Jordan Childs? She's supposed to get the bronze medal in the floor exercises. As a black woman, and they gave it to Romania. Like they said, they undervalued the difficulty of her exercise, and then her coach complained. And then they said you were 4 seconds too late. Now the USA team fought and said, well, no, it was 47 seconds. And then they said, well, you can't do an appeal. They're really playing a sister. And it's infuriating. So I don't know if you heard about it.
I've heard a little bit about it, but I did not know all the ins and outs of it.
Yeah. Basically, they're saying that the judges got it wrong, but the Team USA coaches didn't complain fast enough. They had
Oh,
60 seconds to complain, and they complained in 64 seconds, but the video evidence shows otherwise, so they gave it to Romania. And it's a real show, and it's infuriating. Like, she
wow.
did nothing wrong.
Wow. Oh, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look into that and find out all the details of it. But I did hear a little bit of something about that. Sheba Kita, what's up, ma'am?
Hey Tariq, how's my family doing? How's everybody?
We are good. Kita, how are you, beloved?
That's wonderful. I loved Microphone Check. It was splendid. You really hit on all the points and having all the pioneers in that film. I went to the premiere. I don't know if you remember, you see so many people. I saw you real quick at the New York premiere. So it was just excellent. And
Yes,
I
and we
can't
had a
wait
great.
to see it on Blu-ray. I gotta
Yes,
order it. I don't
yes,
have a Blu-ray. But
yes.
anyway, I wanted to ask you because I missed the last live you did. Did you see what Ricky Smiley said? How he basically disrespected us, practically calling us stupid and bigging up like Roland Martin and oh, we got to support Kamala, this, that, and the third. Like, did you hear about that? Because he
I
went on
heard
a
about it.
tirade.
I heard he was really going off. I heard he was going off. And I'm not surprised. And I like Ricky. Ricky, I've been on Ricky's show before. But a lot of these guys, man, they get little kickbacks from the Democrats. The Democrats do a lot of advertising on their shows. Their radio stations are clicked in with the boule and the white liberals. So a lot of black radio is
Mm-hmm.
basically they're extensions of the damn Democratic Party. That's why you have all of these black radio jocks just really jumping through hoops for the Democrats, and basically trying to shame the audience if you just question Kamala or these people about anything. They got these boule cats and these fraternity cats out here shaming folks. That's their job. Notice the so-called black radio cats, how they get out. And another thing, family, speaking of microphone check, we didn't get a lot of you want to know why we didn't get a lot of promotion from black radio? That's why. Can we talk turkey tonight? And again, I've been on Ricky Smiley's show many times. I've been on his show, all of these guys. I've been on it. And not Ricky's one of the funniest comedians out there. He's a funny brother. But again, I understand where they're coming from. You dig? I understand the politics, quote unquote, behind everything. But the Democrats run these stations, and they got to toe the line for them. And there's a reason why you haven't seen black radio really promote microphone check. Even though if you go, I think on Amazon, it's like number one now. And the new version is still not technically fully out yet. And it's the pre-orders got it back to number one. It was number one last month. And then you have the white Latinos making these false copyright reports. And then my lawyer hit them up because that's another thing. Making false copyright reports, even if your images are in the film, legally, because there's case law that says you have to first consider fair use. There are laws that saying, hey, y'all can't really do that. You can't sit up here talking about there's a copyright violation knowing that it's a documentary film. So there are laws stating that you have to consider fair use first before you make a copyright claim. You have to say, okay, was my image used in the context of fair use? And there are case laws stating that you have to do that. So, yeah, I got my lawyers on the case big time, letting folks know don't try to be malicious, because the thing is, what happens, a few of the Puerto Rican photographers from back in the day, they got upset because we said that Puerto Ricans were not the creators of hip hop. So they tried to take their ball and go, nah, 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 you can't play with my ball. You dig? It became that. And my thing is, look, a lot of those images we took out, even though legally we could use them, but I don't want anybody coming around saying that, hey, you used a Puerto Rican's photograph and you needed me. I didn't want that at all, because we don't. You know, but I digress as far as that. But again, the reason why you haven't seen all of these so-called black radio stations and hip hop stations with black folks on them, they haven't promoted the movie. Now, they'll promote people who get up here telling that 50-50 Latinos and blacks, they'll have them on there lying. If you notice that, they'll have them on there lying all day. Because again, that whole black and brown coalition, that's Democrat liberal talk. That's what the Democrats promote. And the Democrats get these so called black radio stations, and they put Latino program directors in a lot of these black, so called black radio stations, especially out here in LA and Miami and all of these other places, in New York. You dig? So, they're real funny style. And even some of the other hip hop blogs that I do, a lot of them, even though I've been on some of the hip hop blogs and it does phenomenal numbers for them, there is pushback there, but they like the numbers. Yeah. But there's a reason why you haven't seen them promote the movie like that. That's why my PR firm, they had me doing all of these mainstream white shows. We're doing like major big shows that's reaching, like, in New York, 5-10 million viewers. In DC, millions of viewers. We're doing the white shows. Yeah. We had to go above the hip hop crowd to really promote the movie. That's why it's doing so excellent, and it's changing the game. And then people had the nerve to question why I went on Vlad. Vlad was one of the few large hip hop blogs that would talk about the film. Yeah, I'm gonna promote the film. People want to talk about code. I'm not. I'm the only one on code who's on that level with the kind of numbers that I get. Again, sometimes we start making progress to the point where you look around and you're the only one standing there, and all of these other folks are supposed to be on some damn code with you, and they're not. Yeah. So you got to start doing things that's practical. Let's get Juicy Genius in the building. Juicy Genius in the building. What's happening, Juicy?
Peace and power to you, Tariq. Good
Hey,
evening, good morning. It's 3:25 a.m. on the East Coast here in Atlanta. I wanted to say congratulations on a successful PR campaign. I'm here in Atlanta. I did get to see you on multiple major local mainstream media outlets during your microphone check PR campaign. So congrats on that.
thank you so much. Yes,
And I
indeed.
just want to say real quick, and bring up a couple points in regards to the Democratic political gaslighting that I see a lot from their paid operatives and online digital influencer people that they're paying off to
Yeah.
come in and say and make comments as if black men have the right to decide who they want to choose as far as their political candidate for any election, right?
Mm,
So, but to tell a black man that he's low informational or he doesn't know what he's talking about, they're idiots, is a form of political gaslighting. I need black Americans to really understand and start using that language. Stop allowing these operatives to um, degenerate our views politically and minimize our voices and our decisions as far as who we decide to support politically. I yield my mic. Thank you so
yes,
much.
ma'am. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, we got to stop letting folks shame us. We're not, man. We don't, especially with Kamala Harris. Dude, we don't owe Kamala Harris nothing. We don't owe her loyalty, nothing. Yeah, we don't owe them nothing at all. The Eastie,
Hello.
hey Eastie, how are you?
It's Esty, esthetician, Esty boss.
Oh, okay, my bad, sis. I'm kind of an old player and I can't see worth a damn.
Look,
I can
I'm old too. I'm trying to keep up with them. I'm trying to shorten
barely.
things and make it all cute and savvy or whatever.
Yeah.
Hi,
So,
Tariq. So I
how you
have
doing, dude?
like
Go
two
ahead.
questions for you. I'm gonna keep it really short. I do want to say peace to the God. You are so amazing.
Thank you,
I
dude.
first discovered you back in like 2012 or 2013.
Oh,
And I worked at this hair salon. This girl was like, "You never seen Hidden Colors?" I was like, "What's Hidden Colors?" And she put me on the Hidden Colors, and I've been following you ever since. And you have helped me navigate like the streets, the game, work, life, love, like everything. So I do want to give you that props. And I don't really speak up a lot, but I wanted to speak up tonight because um, I'm working corporate America, and you know how it is being a black woman in corporate America. And I did read your foundational Black American Race Baiter book,
mm-hmm.
but I did have a situation. I'm gonna just be, keep it 100 tonight. I had a situation at work where I got written up. I don't get written up. I do everything meticulously, perfectly, but I had a situation where I got sabotaged at work and it was blatant to me and I never brought it up
Was
to
it
my,
Tethers? Was it Tethers?
yes,
Why did I know that? Are you in DC?
yeah,
You're in
yeah,
DC, right?
I'm in DC,
That's
yeah.
what I knew it was Tether. Go ahead, sis. I already knew. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, so I guess my question is I won't even like hold everybody with the long of it is how like in 2024 how as a black woman foundational black American woman because you know how you talked about how they'd be like oh let me and I'm in skincare let me give y'all foundation on that. I'm in skincare. They always want to touch your face. They always want to touch your hair. Damn if you do. If you are older and because I'm 41, but I don't look 41. So
Yeah.
I get a hard time with that. Like they sleep on me because I look young. Then they realize I'm old, and then they be still mad. Like it's just too much. Like you hired me because do a good job, and then you want to write me up because I do a great job. Like, you want to touch my hair, you want to do all those weird things you talked about in your book that they do, where they cross lines and they want to say little things, and the microaggressions, and the performance punishment, and it's like it's just too much. And
Now, what was
I
the
tried
actual reason for them writing you up? What was the
the
official reason?
so basically, honestly, I feel like I've been like a sacrificial lamb, like, and that was the way my mother raised me. And any other FBA person in this room knows how our parents are. You show up, you do a good job, you keep your head down, you do what you're supposed to do, you do it well. They go low, we go high, whatever, whatever. So I did that. I did everything my parents told me to do. I get sabotaged. At that point, to me, I lost my motivation because I'm giving you everything. I'm sacrificing things in my personal life and things to do a good job and be a team player and do all this crap they tell us to do. And then you think it's okay to go into my calendar. Like, I teach during the day.
Okay.
So someone went into my calendar and basically changed my schedule, but I'm ahead of myself 2 weeks. So I already know my schedule. So I'm already planned out. So I caught it. But at that point, I wasn't even angry. I was disappointed because it was like, after everything that I've done and contributed to the skincare community, the hair care community, the community, someone thought it was okay to just go in the system and sabotage me blatantly like that. And I mentally checked out. And I take responsibility for everything just falling to shit after that. But I had no incentive to keep it together. So I took the write up. I took the write up like a G. Because I was
Mm,
like, I mean, it could have gone worse. I could have no job for saying what I really wanted to say on some of these situations. I could have had no job or been in jail for some of the people crossing the line and touching me
hold on,
inappropriately,
hold on, hold on.
you know?
So you missed some appointments because your schedule was changed.
Yeah.
Mm. And do you know who did the schedule change behind your back?
Honestly, I didn't even focus on who did it. It was the point that someone thought it was okay to do.
Mm.
Like, the fact that you thought it was okay to do it. Like, that's where I'm like, I need help from you. It's like, how do I navigate now that they've written me up and I gotta go back to work tomorrow? What's this day forward look like after they've reprimanded me, after someone sabotaged me, but I get reprimanded for getting sabotaged? Is it coming together?
Right. So that's why I'm asking if you knew who actually did the schedule change. If you
I
knew who.
don't know how to prove that. I mean, I could ask IT if someone like went in this, it would have to be like that kind of digital paper trail or whatever, like, how do you find out who did it? I wouldn't be able to see that.
Right. So because you don't want it to happen again. This is why I'm asking that. You don't want that.
Okay.
So you gotta, make sure of the people that you're associating with up there to see who's doing that type of stuff, because if they can do it once, they'll do it again. So it's good to know who's doing that. And now that you know that they're doing that, you need to be abreast of your schedule at all times. You need to keep your eye on it at all times. If somebody's changing the schedule, somebody would have to authorize a schedule change. Somebody is authorized
Yes.
to make the schedule there. And usually that's some kind of supervisor. And usually in places like that, they'll have a tether as a supervisor, either a white person or a tether. You understand?
Yes.
So you look for the forehead, all right? Whoever's forehead is big, and then that's who did it. All right.
Thank you so much. It took me a lot of guts to get up on here, but they kind of fired me up a little bit today. And I was like, you know what though? I took it like a G. All the real bosses, you ain't a boss until you get in trouble. So
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, I ain't never got in trouble. So
Hmm.
this was the rite of passage for me. So I was like, I'm getting on here. I'm asking a question because I
Oh
gotta
yeah.
figure out how to navigate after this.
No, you're gonna be all right. It's just tether shit. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be absolutely fine, sis. All right,
All right.
beloved.
Thank
Hey,
you.
y'all better know how to move and shake at these jobs, man. Don't get frustrated. It's just those jobs are just a microcosm of the regular society. That's how you got to look at it. These jobs are just a microcosm of everywhere else. It's going to be the white supremacists, really behind the scenes, running things, and then there's going to be a tether supervisor somewhere that they deliberately put the tethers there to keep an eye on you. They'll do the Kamala thing. They'll sister girl you and all of that jive talk, and then go behind the scenes telling all your damn business and doing things to sabotage and undercut you. You understand? That's why I'm tripping on folks going for the whole Kamala Harris con job. If you buying that sister girl con job, the Kamala Harris is that supervisor at your job who's always getting you written up. You wonder why you getting written up. It's the Kamalas at the job who's up here laying up with the bosses. And I've talked about this before, even in my book, FBA Race Bed. I talk about how them bed witches, they be laying up with the boss, and they're the eyes and ears, and they come around you, sister girling you, and telling everything. They'll run down to HR telling on your ass. So y'all better understand these office politics out here. Let's get Miss Melanin. Hold on, let me try Miss Melanin. Let me let you up. Miss Melanin, hop on. Miss Melanin, where you at? Miss Melanin, where you at? Let's try one more time. And then we'll get T Way in the building. Let's get T Way in here. And then we'll get Ikeem in here. All right, T Way, you good?
Yep, I'm here.
What's up, T? How are you, bro?
Appreciate you letting me up, man. That the last caller is not why I
You're
come.
very low, brother. You're very low. You got on.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me? Got any better?
No, let's try it again. You got on headphones or something? Earphones?
Yeah, I got hit. I do. I do.
Yeah, yeah. You got to send them back to the Wish app and then take them off so we can hear you now.
I dropped down and tried again. Appreciate you.
Okay, brother. Yeah, they gave my brother the Wish app earplugs and they don't work. Those are not the right AirPods. Those don't work. This brother got some AirPods for a T-Mobile Sidekick. This nigga done jailbroke some AirPods and it don't sound right. Ikeem, hop on, brother.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ikeem. How are you?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm fine. This is this is probably more of a Mac lessons type of a question.
Well, let's
But
get it then. Let's go.
I was curious. What's your message for the FBA brothers like myself who are married to somebody that's from the Africa diaspora, should I say?
Okay.
For example, my wife, she's East African, she's Kenyan.
Okay.
I've been to Kenya like 3 times. I didn't seen things over there where it makes me a little upset when I hear Africans, specifically Kenyans, talk about the stereotypes of African Americans. When I seen this over there, plain as day, like that's it's like you can't talk about us when what the y'all got all kind of going on over there. I was there.
Oh yeah.
So my question is like my wife, it's like she doesn't I give her the benefit of the doubt. She wasn't born in America. So
Okay.
she doesn't understand the historical context that we have in America as far as our Black history. But I also noticed that she doesn't really have a care for it. So I guess my question is like, how do you go about what's your message to the FBA men who are married to the you know
Yeah.
immigrants, should I say?
Right. Well, the thing is, you can't force anybody to care about something because a lot of non-FBA folks, they just don't care. They're all about getting their come up. You understand? That's just the long and short of it. My thing is, what we don't let them do is show disrespect. You understand?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, cats are married to these foreigners, and then their families start talking a little greasy as if they're doing you a favor as a Black American, as a foundational Black American, like they allowed you to marry into their family as some kind of favor. No, you got to check that right out the gate. So just as long as they're not being disrespectful to the lineage, that's cool. Just let them know what's happening. It ain't gonna be no damn disrespect whatsoever. And again, your wife needs to know the history. She needs to know the history, especially if you guys are going to possibly have children because you guys are married. So, children will come into play. I should ask my man if they got any kids. So the kids are going to be half FBA. So The kids need to know their lineage, so that means their mama needs to know the truth about the lineage and the spirit of foundational Black Americans and how we get out. Um, but yeah, if you're married to some of these folks who are foreigners, don't let them show any disrespect, because when, especially a Kenyan or anybody, I'm not singling out Kenyans, but Kenya has the Kibera slum, which is the largest slum in Africa. They got like a huge ass slum with about 1 million people in the slum. It's the biggest slum on the whole continent of Africa. They're not at liberty to say anything. And again, you've heard some of the Kenyans call up here trying to talk greasy, talking about some damn black on black crime. Sit down. No, we don't let that happen whatsoever. We don't play that game. It's gonna be respect. See, that's the thing. We got to stand on that. I made a decision long ago about not letting anybody from the tether class come over here and show disrespect to any of us. You're just not at liberty to do so. And let's get Shiki or Sheki. Is it Shiki or Sheki? How do I pronounce it? Shiki or Sheki? Unmute your microphone if you will, please. All right, Shiki, Sheki. All right, while we're waiting on that person to come on through, we're going to get some more people in here. Let's get Michi God. Michi God in the building. What's going on, family? How are you? Michi God in the building. Hop on, sir. All right, y'all, come on, let's get it together, guys. All right, so he's not on. Let me get these folks out. If they're not talking, Shecky, you good? You want to try it again? What we doing? Shiki, Shecky, whatever your name is. All right, let me get him out of here. Let's get Indy Left Biz. What's up, Indy? Indy, hop in.
Yeah, what's happening, Tariq?
I'm good, man. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I just want to shout you out with all the success you're having. Thank you for sharing me and Wani's space about the racial discrimination going on here in Kinston, North Carolina. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Uh, I wanted to talk to you because my grandfather, he passed back in April. He was 99 years old.
Wow.
Um, and he was a part of an exclusive group in the U.S. Army called the Red Ball Express.
Okay.
And I know you do documentaries like talking about the Maroons and how they fought. And my grandfather, fought in that exclusive battalion or whatever. And like, if he didn't deliver those weapons to the people fighting on the front lines and Nazi, England, different parts back then during World War II, his mission wasn't successful and he didn't get those weapons to the front line, they probably would have lost a lot of parts of that war. And
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't get a GI Bill or anything like that. I was wondering if you would be interested in, doing a film on a lot of these black soldiers back in, World War II that came back home and was still treated like boys or didn't even have any rights after they went and fought.
Right. Yeah, that's something I might look into a little bit later. Thank you for the call. But yeah, my family, my uncle fought over there in World War II, over there in Nazi Germany. And remember, there's a lot of brothers going in them concentration camps rescuing people out of them camps, only to come back here and have people like the Levitt brothers, who were Jewish brothers, discriminating against black people, creating these suburbs, and black people couldn't get in these suburbs. So the irony of that was real heavy. Our families over there risking their lives getting people out of them camps, and to come over here and they're they're giving the same type of anti-black discrimination. And the Levitt brothers, they fought all the way to the Supreme Court to keep black folks out of them suburbs. And not only could we not get in them suburbs. We couldn't get them GI bills. We couldn't get them GI housing loans like everybody else could get after we sat over here and put in work in the war. You did? So we were not able to build that generational wealth. See, those GI bills, that created the white middle class. Remember, white people weren't balling out for that long. That's why they liked the 1950s so much. That's when they were able to get those suburban homes and have the yard with the white picket fences. That started in the 1950s. That's why white people love the 50s. I remember back in the day, even when I was in high school or junior high, they would have like 50s parties and they loved the 50s. That was their decade. When people talk about the good old days, they're talking about the 1950s when they could go to these all white suburbs because, they used to live in these rural areas or these urban areas right next to black folks, even though it was still segregated. They were like right across the tracks. But with the suburbs, they could be farther away from black folks. And they had these all white enclaves. And they had these all white jobs and these all white unions. All of that was popping in the 1950s. That's why there was so much backlash in the 1960s. See, the riots and the uprising and the civil rights movement in the 1960s, that was a result from all of the economic deprivation that was so damn rigid in the 50s. We're just being locked out of every damn thing. So we fought back in the 60s and said, damn that. All right. But I do got some I do have some documentary project ideas that I want to work on. I do want to do the West Coast version of Microphone Check. There's a lot of films that I want to do. I want to do I want to do something about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I really want to do something about her life. That was one of my idols, and I don't think she gets the appreciation that she deserves. We really need to recognize that sister and her contribution. So I've been wanting to do a documentary about her. Um, Another documentary that I want to do, like this brother called up talking about the fighters in World War II and all of that. Look, there's a lot of black soldiers and fighters and rebels that has to be recognized. The Knights of Liberty, that was a black organization, and you heard me talk about them before. Right before the Civil War, these guys were planning for a decade to kill all of the slave owners in America. They had a plot, and it was about to be successful because it wasn't infiltrated. They had a plot and a plan and a scheme to form an organization that was secret, and they kept it secret. And at a certain date, they were going to put the green light on and start running up in them plantations and getting rid of all of the slave owners, and they were going to stop slavery in this country. They were going to do what the Black Seminoles did in Florida. And you go look at the movie American Maroon. American Maroon is on Amazon. You can stream that on Amazon Prime. I think you can buy it for $9 and rent it for $1. So you can go to Amazon Prime and get that now. Watch American Maroon. That story is not really, well, the story about the Black Seminoles, we talk about it in that movie because that story has been buried. The Black Seminoles basically got rid of slavery in Florida. They were burning down plantations down there and freeing a lot of people and whooping the brakes off the U.S. Army. They don't like talking about that, them getting beat up by them black men. It was only a small group of them. The Black Seminoles beat the brakes off the U.S. Army. They took a major L. That's why they don't like talking about that. Dade County and Jacksonville. Dade was a white man who got slaughtered by the Black Seminoles. They chopped him up in pieces. They were putting in major work out there in Florida. They don't like to talk about when they took an L. Yeah. So we got to understand the game. And we have to tell these narratives. We have to tell these stories. There's a reason why they won't, down in Florida, history banned, especially Florida history. They don't like talking about that Florida history. That's why they really want to ban and bury that Florida history. because we were putting in a lot of work down there. And also, when the white explorers went down there, they described what they saw. They saw black people down there when they went down there. So it's always been black people in Florida. And then the Black Maroons, and then they had Fort Negro. You had a Negro fort down there. So you had black people putting in major work out there in Florida. All right, let's get Ben in the building. Ben, what's up, brother?
Hey, my brother, man, you're a good researcher, Doc. I was just hearing what you were saying. I got to give you your credit. You are a good researcher.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
I would like you to do actually something on the Bible, talking about the church fathers. That would be good, really.
Mm,
Many of them were African, and this is before the transatlantic slave trade. So we have a right to that lineage also. I think that would be interesting.
mm. Okay. I'll look into that. But thank you so much, brother.